Hi, students. Today's lesson is going to be on one-step equations. All right, let's get started. So, an equation is a mathematical sentence that contains an equal sign. Equal sign between two expressions. So, something like you have an expression 2x plus 1, you have an expression x plus 3. This is an equation because there's an equal sign between the two. They're saying these two are equal. Okay. Solution, any value or values that make an equation true. So let's look at this diagram over here. You have x plus 1/4 equals 11. That's your equation because you have two expressions that are set equal to each other. And now you're kind of going into solving it. This is your solution because when you substitute the number back in for x, because what you're going to be doing today is learning how to solve these in this unit. When you substitute it back into x, it's going to make this it's going to make it true. So 11, 6 3/4 plus 4 1/4 equals 11. So when you simplify this, when you add the two fractions, you can get 11 equals 11. So how to solve an equation? Get the variable by itself. You're going to hear me say that a lot today in this unit quite a bit. Anytime you're solving equations, that's what your thought process is. How do I get the variable by itself? So you're doing a lot of undoing. So undo the addition or subtraction and undo the multiplication or division. Addition and subtraction are inverse operations. They undo each other. So meaning that when you have So you're trying to keep equations balanced, but if you have the number 2, right? To undo that to get 0 would be to subtract a 2. Similar to this, another one, if you have -4, think of that as subtraction because it's a -4 technically. We're just kind of blurring the lines a little bit here. And we're going to get to 0 here. To undo that, you'd be adding 4. So addition and subtraction undo each other. In the same note, when you have when you're adding and subtracting, you're going to get zeros, but multiplying and dividing, so let's just use similar numbers. You're thinking about getting to 1. What do you do to 3 to get it to 1? Divide by 3. What are you doing if you have something like 1/4, you're trying to get that to 1. What are you doing to 1/4 to get it to 1? You're actually multiplying by 4 because 1 times 4 is 4 and 4/4 is 1. So these two operations undo each other. That's something that you're going to be, again, doing a lot in solving of equations. And I know it can get a little balanced, but confusing, but you'll be doing enough practice on this. So example, solve x plus 8 equals -18 and then check your solutions. So think of that Edpuzzle that you watched yesterday and about balancing it where you had an x and you know what it was, and this would be 8 positive blocks and this would be 18 negative blocks. What are you going to do to get it? How are you going to get it to be balanced? So this is all about balancing. And we just talked about the last slide. Your whole purpose over here is to get x by itself. You want the answer to look like x equals. And in an equation, whatever you do to one side of the equals equation, so this equal sign is kind of separating it into two sides. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do it to the other side to keep it balanced. This is really important when you're solving equations. You can't just do something to one side or two things to one side and not do something to the other side, meaning the left side and then the right side. So with x, you're trying to get x by itself. How can you get x by itself? Well, over here we have an addition of 8. So what is the inverse operation of addition? And that is subtraction. We talked about that in this last slide over here. Addition and subtraction undo each other and they're inverse operations of each other. So you're going to be subtracting 8, and whatever you do to this side, you got to do the same thing to this side. And now you're using your integer operations to do -18 minus 8. They're the same signs. You're just going to add them, which is 26, and then keep the sign. And now I was talking about checking your solution. This is something that I want all of you guys to do for the time being. So you're going to take that original equation and you're going to put negative 26 and substitute it for x. So that's going to be negative 26. I'm going to try to use purple here. Negative 26 equals, whoops, not equals. It's x plus 8, so negative 26 plus 8 equals negative 18. So negative 26 plus 8, they're different signs. You got to subtract them. So 26 from 8 is 18. And then the negatives there are more negatives. So it's going to be negative 18 equals negative 18. So your solution does make sense. This is the way you can check your work. Let's do another example. Let's do more examples. Examples. This equation is negative 2x equals 26. And remember, when you have a number in front of the x, the coefficient, it's multiplying. So what's the inverse operation of multiplication? You should all be saying division at the same time out loud. Negative, so you're going to divide negative 2 to this side to get that x by itself. And whatever you do to that side, you do to the other side. And now you can cross this off. I don't know if I did it on this one. I really love crossing it off. And then I love doing when I was in school in my notebook. And now you have the x by itself equals 26 divided by negative 2. 26 divided by 2 is 13. And this is different signs. So you're going to have a negative 13. And now let's check our answer. So negative 2 times negative 13 equals 26. Negative 2 times negative 13 is 26. So 26 does equal 26. That's our solution. All right, let's do another one. So we have x divided by 8. This is the best way I could write it. X divided by 8 equals negative 6. So again, you want x by itself. So this is division. That means you're going to be multiplying 8 to both sides. And why are you multiplying 8 to both sides? Because 8 over 8 gives you 1. And that's what you're looking for. Because x and 1x are the same thing. So you're multiplying 8 to both sides, and this is going to go away. Or not go away technically, but it turns into 1. And then you're going to be left with x equals 6 times 8 is 48. Negative times a positive is negative. So negative 48. And let's check our answers. Negative 48 divided by 8 is equal to negative 6. Negative 48 divided by 8 is negative 6 because 8 times 6 is 48. And you're dividing a negative and a positive, so that'll give you negative. Is equal to negative 6. So we're on the right track. Next problem. Maybe you should do these two on your own. Pause the video and see if you get the right answer. So you have, and this it's unusual because sometimes you'll see variable on the right side. Don't worry about it. Just keep solving. Get isolate the variable by itself on the right side. So you're going to have something like y equals. I want the blue, not the red. Y equals. That's going to be your final answer. That's what it's going to look like. We're going to talk about how you rewrite that in the other way in a second. So in this, it's saying negative 18 equals negative 6y. Well, this is multiplying. That means we're going to be dividing to undo that multiplication. So you're going to divide by negative 6. So negative 6 divided by negative 6 gives you that 1 because when you divide the same numbers, it is 1. So y equals negative 18 divided by 6 is 3. Negative divided by negative is positive. And when you get to this point, all I want you to do is just take a second and just rewrite it the other way. And what you could always do is, in the beginning, rewrite it where you're just going to switch it. If you like to have the variable on the right side, for now, we only have one variable. So you can rewrite it as negative 6y is equal to negative 18 without changing anything. And then solve if you like it that way. I'm not saying you can do this for every problem because in the future, you're going to have more than one variable. But for now, this is fine. And let's check our answer. So negative 18 is equal to negative 6 times 3. Negative 6 times 3 is negative 18 because 6 times 3 is 18. Negative times a positive is negative. And we have the right answer. In this one, you're dividing by -3, so the inverse operation of division is multiplying. So you're going to multiply by -3. So the -3's go away on the left side, and then you're left with y equals 20 times -3, which is -60. And checking our answer. So -60 divided by -3 is equal to 20. 60 divided by 3 is 20, and negative divided by a negative is positive, so this is correct. Let's set up some word problems. How many packages of diapers can you buy with $40 if one package costs $8? Okay, so we know our variable is going to be number of packages. They're telling you, that's your question. It's always good to know what you're solving for. This is going to be number of packages. So we know we have a variable here. So how many packages of diapers can you buy with $40 if one package costs $8? So you know each package is $8, and you're trying to find the number of packages. So 8 times the number of packages is going to be 40. Okay? And now you're solving this. So divide by 8 to both sides. Okay? And 40 divided by 8 is 5. So it would be, you can buy 5 packages of diapers. Okay? Let's do another one. At a restaurant, Mike and his 3 friends decide to divide the bill evenly. I mean, you have a keyword right there. Divide the bill evenly. If each person paid $13, then what was the total bill? So we know we got a division here, and you're dividing by, instead of divide the bill evenly. So, and they paid $13. So how many people are in this? You have Mike and I know some of you guys are going to say 3 because the number is there, but then you're totally forgetting Mike. So we have 4 people here. And your variable is, what is a total bill? So our variable is total bill. So the total bill divided by the number of people paying is 4. Remember, Mike and his 3 friends, 1 plus 3 is 4. And then that's going to equal how much each of them pay. Okay? And now dividing here, so you're going to multiply 4 to each side. X, whoops. You know how guys like keep my colors together. X equals 13 times 4 is 52. So total bill was $52 or is $52, whichever way you want to write it. Okay. And now you're left with your You Try problems, which is attached to your assignment in Google Classroom. You can't link on it because in Jamboard, all right? Hope this helped.